Welcome back again. Now we are looking at how our childhood pain manifests in the young adult. The characters of teenage continues into the young adult, but some little bit of additionals. For example, a rebellious teenager who is now a young adult will continue showing signs of rebellion. But this time, there is something else that comes in very quickly, and this is the abuse of alcohol. Many of them begin to take alcohol, and it is because they don't know how else to numb their pain. That pain is still there. They are struggling with it. It is still in there. They don't even know that it is childhood pain. Nobody knows that this is childhood pain. You just think this is who you are. You're just feeling to do things like this. So alcohol is the first thing they try out. As soon as they are out of home, because now they are free, they begin to experiment with alcohol very quickly. If they didn't try it in teenage, some of the teenagers in their rebellious moments, they would try out alcohol. But when they become young adults, that is one thing that they get into very quickly. Sex is another thing that they get into very quickly. They begin to have a lot of sexual exploits. They become party animals. They are the ones moving from one bash to the other. Once their classes are over, Friday comes, they are gone. They will come back on Monday. They have been from one party to the other. At the same time, they manifest arrogance, and they are also defiant, just like they were in teenage. And also now they begin to become violent. They can get into physical fights. They live their lives loudly. They are into this relationship, that relationship, another relationship. These ones are fighting over this young person, a man, or the girls are fighting over a boyfriend, the guys are fighting over a girlfriend. There are those fights. They begin to get involved in violent kind of fights. So that is a young adult who experienced pain as a child, and they manifested it in form of rebellion in their teen. And if they did not come out as full-blown rebellion now in their young adult, because now there is this freedom away from home, it comes out as such. Alcohol, sex, partying, arrogance, defiance, violent fights, those kind of things. The teenager who was a performer, because they're very good, they excel, so a majority of them will go to college and universities. It comes out just like they were organized, so they will be very okay with their books. They are going to their classes, their lectures, they're doing all that. You'll find them in the library. You call them bookworms once again. They thrive alone, so you'll not find them in groups, in huge groups. They have one or two friends. When they are socializing, they're in very small groups, maybe not more than 5 people, maybe 2 or 3. But they also begin to get into addictions. And the addictions that they get into that are very quiet and silent, not the alcohol kind of addictions. They get into addictions like addiction to internet, addiction to television, addiction like smoking weed, marijuana, addiction to maybe pornography, addiction to masturbation. Others might get addicted to food and so on. So those kind of addictions, they're trying to numb their pain with those things. So that is their escape. So the danger with these people is that because they are not expressing themselves yet, they're just doing things to mask their pain. And now they're getting into some kind of an escape, which is an addiction of some sort. If they meet failure, because failure is one thing they don't know how to handle, it is very easy for them to get into depression. If, for example, because of their addiction, they are unable to perform properly and they fail an exam, they fail in a unit, it's very easy for them to get into depression. These are the ones who can easily commit suicide. They don't know how to deal with pain. and especially failure. Failure is a dangerous thing for them. And because life will present these things, it is important to deal with the underlying pain before this kind of thing happens. Because many of them will come out as addicted young adults who were very good. They had done very well in their high school exams. They are doing very good courses in the university, but they have these kind of addictions, and they can easily get into depression. The victim also continues with the kind of victim mentality, but this time they become completely attention seekers. They are attention seekers. They crave for attention. And a majority of them, again, will not be able to say no. So they can't say no. So once now they have joined a group of probably some rebellious young adults who are going from one party to the other, you will find them going. And they will go because once again, they want to just be people pleasers. They don't want to say no to the invitations. They are afraid of telling their peers, I cannot come. So they will tend to become rebellious, not because that is what they want to, but because they want to please their peers. So they'll just follow their peers and do what their peers are doing. They are people pleasers. At the same time, they allow exploitation, they allow abuse, and you'll find them doing so much just to get some attention, approval, affirmation, and so on. And a majority of them, again, they will be pushed to doing things for themselves. For example, studying. They don't have self-motivation. So when the rebellious ones are going for parties and then they just come and go back to class, the victims might find themselves struggling to even get back to study. So they have to be pushed. So they can become manipulative, and they become manipulative because they need attention. So if they realize that the attention they're looking for, they're not getting it, they can become manipulative. Sometimes even the doing of so much to please is a form of manipulating the other person, because if they're the ones buying for you things, they are washing your clothes, if it is in a boarding kind of a university college thing, then it's not easy for you to just drop them as a friend because they're doing so much for you. So they are that clingy, they are very clingy, you know, they hold on to you and they just won't let go. They are very clingy in their relationships. Like for example, if it's a girl, she gets into a relationship with this young man because now they're young adults, they are dating. It's not easy to break away from that kind of a person. They hold on to you completely. It's like they're holding on to you for dear life. They can become very clingy, and they can become very tiring. If you have that kind of a friend, you feel like they are a burden because they don't give you a breathing space. They're in your space throughout because they need you. You know, they are so much, they are so needy. They're so needy. So some of the characters, some of the behaviors that you will find in the young adults as a result of childhood pain. So all of them need healing. They all need healing. Until they are healed, those characters will not change. They will get into their adult life and they will begin now to face life as adults with those weaknesses. And the world is a very harsh place. It does, you know, the world does not care who you are. You come into the world, you're beginning now to live life as an adult, you're facing other adults. It can become very bad, it can become very difficult. So in my next video, I will talk about how this same childhood pain manifests in adult life. And then you'll look at what's happening in your adult life if you're already an adult, and begin to check whether it is possible that your childhood pain has caused you to become the person that you are right now as an adult. So see you in my next video.